Hey everyone, this is Black here, and today we'll be starting a brand new series in which we'll be discussing Pokemon from the VGC 19 format. So that's just been recently announced and playable on BattleSpot and also on the official formats for events. So today we'll be discussing pretty much the blue fish himself, or what do you want to call it? Free Willy or Kyogre. So, as you can see, just swimming there. So you're probably wondering why Kyogre and not Primal Kyogre. So the only thing, this will be like the only side note. Primal Kyogre is or Blue Orb is banned via rules for the Sun and Moon series, but it'll be allowed in Ultra. So that's the only side note I'll say. So we'll just get started with the Kyogre VGC 19 analysis for the Sun series. So yeah. So from its typing, it is basic water typing solo, and it's only resistant to steel, fire, water, ice. So really not and weak to grass and electric. So keep those typings in mind. So we can take on fire types, as you probably noticed that, in water, and some water types that can take some water hits. And feel relatively okay. So in terms of base stats and abilities, you would probably assume that as a cover legendary, Kyogre has a very large sum, as you can pretty much figure this out, with 670 ESD respectively. Its highest is special attack, which 150, and its special defense is 140 respectively. Especially, it has a very great special defense stat. Speed is somewhat slow compared to the other restricted legendaries in the format, but it can be worked around with some proper EVs, speed control, or even items. So its ability, we all probably know this since Ruby Sapphire, Drizzle, which summons the weather for exactly 5 turns. So this has been the case since Generation 6, since weather used to be permanent back in Gen 5 and below with Drizzle, so when you activate. But now it's only 5 turns, unless you use Damp Rock or similar, so that effect. So why use Kyogre for VGC 19? So the thing about Kyogre is that it's been historically one of the strongest restricted legendaries in the Generation Showdown Cup or GS Cup, and it's no doubt that with its water stab and with the rain, you're going to be hitting several targets hard with powerful water type boosted attacks against several Pokemon in the format. And, I think very few can take the combination of water, ice, and electric coverage. So one thing to note is that Primal Groudon. Yes, I know I'm mentioning Primal Groudon, but without the Red Orb, Primal Groudon or Desolate Land, it doesn't exist for Sun series. So basically speaking, Kyogre is pretty much free to spam water boosted hits with its boosted by 150 special attack with no fear of it evaporating. So because if those of you have been familiarized with VGC 60, that's pretty much Primal Groudon's ability. Desolate Land. So now that Kyogre is pretty much one of the top weather users in the format, so yeah. Again, its access to powerful spread damage water type attacks like Water Spout and Origin Pulse makes Kyogre exceptionally dangerous to switch in or even take care of hits. So even if your would-be counters or checks and counters could get worn down by Kyogre if you do not keep in mind its gem switch against constantly. So, and it has the damage, of course, it has the damage output to either break or sweep opposing teams, early, mid, or late game. So just keep that in mind about Kyogre, considering Kyogre on your team or one of your restricted slots. And the thing about Kyogre is that the loss of the Blue Orb isn't that bad. In fact, the Primal Orbs Primals were very restricted to Kyogre because now Groudon got the advantage over Kyogre. Didn't mean that Kyogre was inferior to it. It's just that with Primal Kyogre was inferior, but it's just that with Desolate Land, it gave Groudon the edge over Kyogre. So in certain situations, certain matchups, you could like try to position yourself where Kyogre can get a water attack onto Groudon, whether it be Airlock or Rayquaza. Now, like, Kyogre doesn't have to fear that. You could just get damage onto Groudon, even if it's in the sun. It's still gonna get hit with some like a hefty chunk of its HP. So, and not only that, you could use offensive and health restoring items like Choice Specs and the 50% berries, and as well as special defense. It's very nice to have to take on like hits from like all these restricted legendaries as well. And of course, the speed and its bulk, it's enough to like be built in like for either Tailwind, for like any form of speed control, for such as Tailwind, Icy Wind, or Trick Room. So, notable moves. Of course, we have Origin Pulse, which is it's a one thing. I believe it's 110 special attack with the 85. No, I think it's 85 accuracy. So. Almost similar to Muddy Water. I think it also has access to Muddy Water, but the thing is that Origin Pulse is just stronger in general. So, there's also Water Spout, which is far stronger. It's probably the strongest attack. That's if you can keep it healthy at 150. Scald is a great single target for Kyogre, since now it can burn stuff. Like, let's say that Groudon. It's gonna be funny to burn Groudon, by the way. So, you have Ice Beam just to hit like grass. Flying type Pokemon, Thunder, especially now with Coco around, you could boost that with Electric Terrain. Of course, Protect is always a staple in VGC for positioning and getting like protecting yourself from double targets and whatnot. So it's always a nice move. Calm Mind, it has a lot of special bulk and special attack, so you could just augment it even further. And now finally you have Icy Wind, which is a good speed control option for Kyogre. Other options are also like Hydro Pump, or a strong single target water move, but that's a high risk, high reward. Psych Up, if you want to take advantage of boosting, like with another Pokemon, like let's say Calm Mind in Nala, or Geomancy Xerneas, which is another large one. Signal Beam if you want to hit grass type Pokemon. Rain Dance if you want to recontrol weather. Substitute just to get out the sub. Roar just to roar out like Pokemon to set up like Xerneas. Surf if you want to try a reliable Water Stab. And lastly, Sure Cold, because it's VGC and 1-hit KO moves aren't banned, so that's... And in case you want to hit kill something that's boosted up, and you just don't have a move slot in general, so yeah. Still notable item choices, you might see Choice Scarf Kyogre, which increases its speed, but locks it in for a move, so... Same with Specs, it increases special attack, which is already as high as it is, to like really frightening levels. You can also have 50% berries like Egg Berry, Alpapa, Mago, and Wiki Berry. Wiki Berry is not advisable if you're running a Kyogre with a negative attack nature, because it will make you confused unless you're running Quiet. Just keep that in mind. So you can also run super effective berries such as Rindo or Lacan for grass, electric coverage. Grass, electric. Let's say if you're gonna get targeted by those, you can take a hit. So, lastly, you have other items like the water type boosting clones like Splash Plate, Mystic Water, Sea Incense, and the Wave Incense. I don't know. I think they're all the same thing. So, there's also Assault Vest, which increases special defense. Life Orb, which is really nice to increase its moves, but it will at the cost of its own HP. Damp Rock to increase weather turns. So yeah. Now the first set we'll be talking about is these regulars, which has pretty much been common in the latter as of late, but they'll probably be throughout like most of the Sun series, which is Scarf Kyogre. Now the cool of Scarf Kyogre is to outspace offensive stuff like Coco, Kartana, even Xerneas. Just get a quick spout off before like your opponents can target back. And this is pretty much a good way to get immediate damage output, just for early game and even like late game. Once you have a set, you position Kyogre in a way where like they can't stop Water Spout at all, unless they're like they have their grass or whatever Pokemon that resists water. So sometimes you don't want to lock yourself in Water Spout because you will get worn down over time. So Origin Pulse is a good option in case you want to have set damage, just as strong. The only thing is that it can miss, so just keep that in mind. If the other thing you would like to consider is having Ice Beam, Scald, which whether you want to hit like let's say Grass type Pokemon or you want single target damage. Also Thunder or Thunderbolt if you want to have like coverage for Kyogre, opposing Kyogre. Since Kyogre is going to be very, very common throughout this format, so here are some damage calcs. Like, 252 Kyogre with, by the way, this is timid. With full power Water Spout, it just does like 68% to like Xerneas. So like, let's say if you put that with a Helping Hand user, it just guarantees the OHKOs. Really nice. Same with Ferrothorn, like you just get a 3-hit KO on Ferrothorn. Like even that's like 252 and 52 special defense. So some Ferrothorns may run special defense just to take on this. Like even like Ayapapa Berry, like you know the 50% berries in general, to withstand those moves. But you gotta keep in mind Kyogre is gonna wear it down to the point where like it may or may not want to activate the berry, but if it gets to that point, then it could be very scary for the Ferrothorn user since it's like it may not activate the 50% berry and then you're trapped into another spout and you'll just die off. So yeah, again, Origin Pulse to Xerneas really does like 50%. Dustmane Necrozma, which is another new Pokemon that's been introduced in the VGC 19 format via Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So then you have Thunder and Electric Terrain, almost OHKOs opposing Kyogre. That's no bulk. And then like lastly, you deal like a good amount to like Pokemon that have like Psychic Misty Seed with Yveltal and Ho-Oh. So yeah, Strike Specs is really nice because you're pretty much gonna do a KO or OHKO anything that isn't resistant or neutral to water. So I know that this isn't fully special attack invested, but I just wanted to illustrate how much or how little you need special attack investment you need just to get certain OHKOs. Like against 252 Xerneas, you just get the immediate OHKO on it, which is like insane. If you compare it well with like a Redirection as well, so to ensure like the damage output. So then you have Ferrothorn is just 2-shot as well with this Specs Ogre with Spout. And Origin Pulse does like almost like 87 to 92 to like Dustmane Necrozma with some bulk and special defense investment. So as well as I said, 2 shots 252 plus 1 in Belto, so it's kind of funny. So you could put as much or as little investment as you want. Just focus on the defenses, or like depends on what type of things you want to pick hits from. So yeah, this set isn't intended to outpace stuff like Smeargle, Bulu, and Dustmane. So yeah, the only thing I would say is like you may want to forego one of the moves for Scald in case you're gonna get wide guarded. So or your fear of that. So yeah. Then we have the 50% berry set, which is very nice to have for self-sustain and recovery if you get Kyogre very low. So you could try any of the Beyond berries if you like want to recover your HP stat. So this set, I pretty much focused it to outspace like Landorus Teeth or his Adamant. So, but it can also outpace as well Jolly, Dustmane, Necrozma, and Smeargle, Bulu. So in case they just happen to run max speed. So you could also change this to be like somewhat slower. So like maybe an actual speed benchmark of like 118. So that way you outpace I believe Ludicolo in rain under Tailwind. So that's like not the actual speed like EV investment, but like an actual speed test stat. So yeah, for this set, pretty much you're gonna likely see Origin Pulse Scald as that's the main move of choice for Kyogre, since you're gonna likely need as much damage output as possible. Since you might run Origin Pulse just to hit like both targets, Skull is just there just to like hit like Pokemon like White Guard user like Hitmontop, Celesteela, like Dustmate, no, not Dustmate, but like a regular Sigaleo. So you have Thunder just for like opposing Kyogre mirror matches and whatnot. Ice Beam is really nice to hit the grass type like a Moongood. So Calm Mind's really nice since with the redirection support, you can boost your Kyogre's special attack and special defense to like very frightening levels, and then if your opponent if you get very low, you can just recover back with the 50% berry. So yeah. So I want to list down some like defensive investments or achievements. So for Life Orb Ludicolo, you pretty much live a hit all the time. So unless they crit you, so that's a 4%, 4.3%, or I don't know, like 4.1 or some weird like new crit chance. I forgot what that was. So then you have Dustmane Necrozma. You could live a Photon Geyser from it, so in Psychic Terrain, which is very nice if it's adamant nature. You also take powers from Ferrothorn 6.3% of the time if it's a certain investment like that. Cool for, because sometimes they're gonna run special defense investment to take Kyogre's hits as well. So yeah. You also take a Kyurem White's Draco Meteor with this investment, with just max HP and some bulk, with a little bit of special defense. And lastly, with Intimidate support, you could take hits from regular Groudon's Precipice Blades. You have a 1.9% chance to shoot for a 3-hit KO, so with continuous Intimidate support, you can probably pressure Groudon into like a situation where like it has to either Sword Stance or be somewhat passive, so you can just keep firing Origin Pulses, assuming if you have it in range. So yeah. Keep in mind that you could make this set like modest, just in case like you want to have like a stronger Kyogre with special attack investments. But this one's just more so to showcase like the defensive investments and whatnot, or outs. So our next set we'll cover is Trick Room. So this one's kind of, this EV spread's kind of ripped from the Smogon spread, but it works just as fine because as you see, I think it's pretty much the same calculations. I think the only difference is that you actually take a hit from Life Orb Mewtwo's Psy Strike in Psychic Terrain. I don't know how popular Mewtwo will be, but it is definitely a threat with Lele boosting its Psychic Terrain. So another one important calculation is that Primal Groudon's Precipice Blades against Kyogre actually the 4 KO with the Figgy Berry. So thanks to the items. Oh yeah, by the way, disregard Figgy Berry. Like, I know it says Figgy Berry, but because of damage, Trainer Tower's calculator, it doesn't include the other berries. You have to input Figgy, so that's why it's like that. So yeah, I could have replaced it, but forgot to. So then you have like this set's pretty much more so a Trick Room set. Like, you're guaranteed to outspeed or outslow any of the base 90s Pokemon, unless you're facing like opposing, let's say, Trick Room Groudon. So yeah, in that case, just run level 49. But whatever. So for this set, you pretty much want to run like moves like Water Spout, Origin Pulse for like high damage output. Then you have Scald for like, you know, avoiding like White Guard, and lastly Ice Beam just to hit the Mungus. So Thunder is really much whether or not you want to run it. So yeah. With the defense investment and activity support, you could actually take plenty of more hits. Like, as I mentioned, the Groudon's Precipice Blade is now 5-hit KO, so it's pretty much nice. That's about it. And for the Moon Series set, we have, this is pretty much not known, it's not as well known, I guess. A lot of people are just doing damage calcs and like whatever, but we have Water Spout, Water Spout Kyogre, which is actually the strongest Z move in the game. And if you think about it, there's no question why. When you have a Pokemon with 150 special attack, 150 base power that turns into 120 Z power attack and the raid, stab. You pretty much figure that out. Anyone can just figure that out, and it becomes so powerful. You can just obviously the set's pretty much intended for like maybe a trick room team, so yeah. It's just max special attack for maximized damage. And the thing about Sea Water Spout is that it doesn't matter if you get damaged. Like it's gonna still deal the same amount, which is 200 base power before stab, rain, and all that stuff. So that is just insane. And this is some calculations like I did, or playing around with the calculator. So Hydro Vortex with +2, which is after Geomancy, Xerneas, and Rain is 68.6 to 81. And if you use that with a Hydro Vortex, with the Helping Hand boost against +2 Xerneas, it's a guarantee Oko. This is insane power. So, and then Groudon, if it tries to switch in, it's dead. It literally just drops. So Groudon can't switch into this. Because this isn't even in Sun, so it's like not even like taking it very well. Then you have like +1, 252 for HP, Beltal like 90 to like 106, so it's like a good chance to Oko this as well. Though most of Beltal might probably run special attack defense investment, so and Ferrothorn's really dumb. This is like you can pretty much guarantee an Oko on most Ferrothorn sets that aren't like specially defensive with this set. Like if you get some chip damage and then like you just go for the Z Spout, then you just get rid of like a huge counter to your team. So yeah, this will be a fun. I think this is going to be a set to watch out for when Z moves are reintroduced to the VGC scene. So yeah. Now when using Kyogre, try to keep Kyogre healthy at all times, and keep it in prime positioning to launch water or rain boosted hits. Because the thing about it is Kyogre, even though it hits really hard, its defense is based like 90. Defense isn't as well, I would say, like good compared to like compared with all the other stuff that are hard hitting stuff in this format, like say like Physical Coco, Kartana, even like Groudon could just two-shot it with like Life Orb. So yeah. Another thing you note is that like base 90 isn't the fastest for restricted mon, so have multiple forms of speed control possible. And redirection as well, so let's say Trick Room, Icy Wind, Tailwind, Railage Powder, Follow Me, or even slap that thing with a Scarf. So gotta give the Kyogre like enough speed or enough of an advantage to get its moves off first. So so pretty much this goes hand in hand what I'm just saying. So try to build Kyogre to like build around Kyogre essentially, since Kyogre is one of those Pokemon that's gonna be one of your two like restricted Pokemon in general. So you want to make sure that it's gonna be like your main offensive route, like presence, and it's gonna be doing like enough damage to your opponent's side that like even your own Pokemon can just take care of things once it's like the end game comes down to it. So yeah, and you have to consider the item choices as well, whether you want to consider like a Scarf set or like, you know, Beyond Berries. So, and of course, since Kyogre is such a meta-defining Pokemon, you're gonna expect teams to have multiple Grass, Electric, counters, even like Pokemon that are like especially defensive or just hard hitting in general, and even like weather, opposing weather, like say like Tyranitar Sand or Obama Snow. But we'll get to that with the counter section. So, when using choice items like Specs or Scarf, just don't go for Water Spout unless you can guarantee the base damage of 150 and it's in range. And if you're gonna get damaged in the process, go for like Origin Pulse. So you enough. And also, like, last thing is, you don't have to use Kyogre. You don't have to steamroll teams with Kyogre all the time. Just do enough damage to where, like, with the damage output from Kyogre, so that your teammates can actually just carry you. So for the rest of the game. So, speaking of teammates, here's some partners. So, normally you may or may not see a Swipson Mon paired with Kyogre. but obviously the most common one is Ludicolo. So I put Swift Wind and Water types in general because most of the time you're just gonna have Kyogre as your Water type. But sometimes you might see like other Water type Pokemon, let's say Kingdra, Palkia paired up with it, even like Tapu Fini and Araquanid, like because Araquanid just loves rain, with boosting with its water bubble hits, and like Fini is just like can heal it up with Heal Pulse and stuff, and protect it from like status. So yeah, but of course Ludi's the big one, the big partner for Kyogre. So it resists water, opposing water. It can deal like heavy damage to like stuff like Groudon. So yeah, but it's grass, water, even ice moves. So yeah. Kingdra and Palkia are really nice against opposing Kyogre wars, so we'll get to that when we get to the counters. Grass types in general appreciate Kyogre, like Ludicolo, Ferrothorn, Kartana, Tapu Bulu, Amoonguss, Tisserina, like plenty of other grass types I didn't mention here, so yeah. They appreciate the fact that it reduces the damage output of fire type Pokemon, like Incineroar, or like moves like from Fire Punch from Groudon, so yeah. Electric types are really nice for Kyogre since they pressure opposing water types that may attempt to take it on, like Koko, Raichu. Raichu is really nice with Lightning Rod and also Togedemaru just to like absorb electric moves for Kyogre, so yeah. So you just have to worry about grass ones. Zapdos is really nice since it provides tailwind support. Zekrom is a very nice partner for Kyogre since it just happens to kill like it could abuse the opposing electric terrain user and just kill like and bypass Lightning Rod with his ability and kill opposing Kyogre. So yeah. Steel types are really nice since they handle one of the most powerful other restricted Pokemon in Geomancy Xerneas. So ones like Solgaleo, Duskmane Necrozma, Ferrothorn, Bronzong, and Celesteela, also Kartana as well if you want to. But then again, if associate Kartana more so as a grass type, so yeah. Flying type Pokemon are really nice since they deal with opposing grass types if you feel like grass type Pokemon are being very problematic, like let's say Yveltal, Crobat, Hull, even like some redirection like support like Togekiss is really nice, so yeah. And speaking of redirection, we have other redirection mons like Amoonguss with Rage Powder, or Pierce Mach to remove like stat boost from like Xerneas. Nurgle is always a very strong Pokemon in this GS style format, so with its Wide Guard, Fake Out, or Follow Me support, and has a when it has all, like everything in its available, every goddamn like move available for it, so you're gonna have to like have responsive for it. So the Fairy is very nice since it also gives it a defense raise, a defense boost with Friend Guard, so that's really nice to have in general. So Cresselia is really nice as well since it's very like hard. It's a very like defensive Pokemon with access to like Ally Switch. So if you want to play around with that, as well as utilize speed control. So and lastly, Paris is really nice as a Rage Powder Mon with access to Dry Skin, Spore, so similar to Amoonguss. So yeah. For Dragon types, for Kyogre partners, Dragon type Pokemon are really nice since they deal with electric and grass types like Dialga, Palkia, Serum White, and Rayquaza. So I'm not so sure about how good Rayquaza will be in the Sun series, but I just put it there so as an example. So Intimidate support. Often you'll see mons like Intimidate, Incineroar, Landorus, Hitmontop, Scrafty, and Salamence. The most common are of course the Hitmontop and the Incineroar, so respectively. So you'll likely see Kyogre pair with these guys since they have offered Fake Out plus Intimidate support. So as you see, our next section, as well as Ludicolo, another popular Pokemon with Kyogre. So another Fake Out users that are really nice is Weavile since it also has access to Feint, which basically breaks the White Guard protection. So and it pretty much allows you to spam like spouts or Origin Pulses. So yeah. I think Infernape also has access to the same move, but with better utility like Fake Out, Quick Guard, Encore, well, so also its fire fighting typing is really nice to deal with, like opposing Steel, opposing grass types. So yeah. Then you have opposing. You have like speed control. So like Dust Maiden, Necrozma's Trick Room, Cresselia's multiple speed control options, Icy Wave, Thunder Wave, and or the last one, Icy Wave, Trick Room, and Thunder Wave. So yeah, that's about it. So Cortana can also like go for the Tailwind support. So pretty much a very nice Pokemon to have, and it's very offensive with 180 attacks. So yeah. Oh, can also do the same as well as Whimsicott, and Whimsicott can also have Endeavor, so it could be very dangerous once it gets very low. So yeah. Another important aspect that for Kyogre now is having priority protection from Fake Out. So mons like Tapu Lele, Tisserina, Bruxfish, and even Crit Guard users like Crobat are really nice to have. So with Psychic Terrain or Queenly Majesty, Dazzling, and Crit Guard, you're just protected from Fake Out and just allow yourself to get a free hit off, so from like say Water Spout or Origin Post. And then other partners we have are obviously Geomancy Xerneas with Kyogre. Really good. It's a good strong pairing with two strong special attackers in general. Lunala is also a strong one as well, since with Ghost moves, it can actually pressure several of the Pokemon that would actually beat Kyogre, and it has access to Shadow Shield, so it should just take one strong hit before it just dies. And Kyogre actually threatens the most popular Pokemon for Lunala with Incineroar, so it's pretty much a good partnership. I know it sounds weird putting Groudon here, but Kyogre is really a nice partner. Groudon's actually a nice partner for Kyogre to take on like Legendary types and Legendary type Pokemon, so yeah. Like Coco, so, and it can also like deal with like opposing like weather in a sense, so yeah. Then you have Mewtwo, since it has 130 speed and can, but paired with like Lele, it could be very scary to deal with, so yeah. So we are gonna deal with checks and counters for Kyogre. So for checks and counters, Kyogre really doesn't like facing off against grass types, such as Ludicolo, Ferrothorn, Cortana, Bulu, Amoonguss, Tisserina. Like, they all pressure Kyogre immensely with their boosted, with their grass type hits, like say Power Whip, Horn Leech, or even just Spore from Amoonguss in general. So yeah, like they're very like annoying Pokemon for like Kyogre to deal with, and with the rain, it's gonna make them even more effective now. So with virtually no fire type wanting to daring to like stay in on like spouts, yeah. Then you have electric type Pokemon, like most of the Pokemon like for like Coco, Raichu, Zapdos, Zekrom, and Thundurus, and others. They can easily like outspeed Kyogre if they're not starved, and just kill it with like their boosted electric type hits. Let's say like a Volt type from Raichu, Thunderbolt, or Wild Charge for Thunder, or like Wild Charge from Coco. Zekrom in particular resists water type moves, so it has to watch out for ice moves. So yeah. So that's pretty much all I have to say about those guys. Since Kyogre has a very low defense stat, keep in mind that physical attackers are gonna like hit this thing exceptionally hard. So be careful about like mons like Dust Maiden, Necrozma, Yveltal, and Kartana in general. So yeah, strong special attackers are very threatening to Kyogre, since like mons like Lele with Psyshock in general, like Mewtwo with Psystrike, and also boosting the Psychic Terrain, just deal heavy damage to Kyogre. And Lunala can also like take a hit from Spout, thanks to like Shadow Shield, since it acts like multi-scale. And Kyurem Light can just deal heavy damage with Draco Meteor, so yeah. Now, Dragon-type Pokemon can actually take hits from Kyogre Spouts and water boosted hits, such as Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, so like the Sinnoh legendaries. Kingdra is really nice since it also quad resistant. And Lanias with high special defense stat. So, yeah. Then you have other water type Pokemon like Ludicolo, Snarl, Suicune, and Tapu Fini with the Combine Moonblast. If it sets up on, it could set up on Kyogre if it wants to. if there's like if it doesn't have like thunder. So Araquanid can also wall it in a way, wall like the scarf and affects it if it's like if it has like white guard. So that's another option. So yeah. Alright, so our second set of checks and counters. So then you have set up Pokemon like Geomancy Xerneas, Helmine Nala, and Groudon with Trick Room Sword Stance. Geomancy Xerneas is pretty much self-explanatory as it gets +2 special attack, special defense, and speed. So it'll outspeed even Scarf Kyogre, and just beat it down with Aura Boost, very Aura Boosted Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam. So especially with the special defense, it'll be able to take even like some spots. So yeah. Lunala with the Shadow Shield can take a hit from Kyogre, but it can also set up on it if it with the addition of Calm Minds and Roost. So with the Roost, you can reactivate your Shadow Shield at 100%. So that's gonna be very scary. And with the special defense investment and Calm Minds, you'll be able to break Kyogre, especially if you have Psy Shock. So yeah. And Groudon, again, like while Kyogre can take on Groudon, Groudon can also beat it because it's in Trick Room and it has Sword Stance. Yes, it's very. It might be that might be a situational thing, but it is a game. It is a game strategy that people attend when using Groudon. So even back in VGC 16, so just be wary of that. So then you have specially defensive mons like say multi-scale Lugia, Chansey, and Snorlax with the 50% berry Gledney. So expect these Pokemon to be like less involved, as they are not going to be like you may or may not see them at all in like certain like formats, or not certain formats, and to a certain degree in like official events. But they can wall like Kyogre with the right coverage options and wear it down once rain is gone. So yeah, you could also add Psychic Seed and Misty Seed if to boost like another like Pokemon like Yveltal, Lunala, like Dustman and Crowsman special defense and take on like Kyogre. So that's also another thing to keep in mind if for like you could like automate your own special defense status while taking a hit from Kyogre. So yeah. Of course, having multiple speed control options is really nice to have when facing Kyogres that could have Trick Room, that are Trick Room based, or just have Scarf, or just fast in general. So like Trick Room is really nice. Tailwind is also okay with you to guarantee that you outspeed Kyogre, even the Scarf ones. And of course, water immune abilities are really nice to have. Like if you want to pair it up on one of your mons, like say Dry Skin on Tatsukro, as the Kyogre's water spouts, calls, and origin pulses will not even do any damage to these mons. In most cases, it will even heal it. So, these Pokemon have their respective abilities and respective niches in the format. So, Mantine has White Guard, Haze, Tailwind, Lapras can roll Kyogre. Same with Toxicroak and Jellicent. Paris also has Rage Powder and Spores. So yeah, I added Shedinja there just because water, electric, and ice coverage does not touch Shedinja at all. So keep in mind of other Pokemon. So then you have Wide Guard. Now this is not a counter, but more so like a way to block opposing Specs or Scarf Kyogre. If you're able to lock them into like a White Guard or the like if you're able to lock Kyogre into like let's say Water Spout or Origin Pulse with White Guard, then it's pretty much GG, since like, you could just lock it down. Just don't use knockoff on Kyogre, as it'll just allow the the opposing Kyogre users to like reselect their moves freely. So yeah. Mons like Solgaleo, Hitmontop, Aegislash, Celesteela, and Alacrine have White Guard, so also Nonala as well. So then lastly, you can have your own weather setters like say Groudon, also Torkoal, Abomasnow, Tyranitar, Alolan Ninetales, and regular Ninetales to counteract Kyogre's rain to auto remove it and set up their own weather respectively. So, of course, Kyogre may often be slow activity first, so these guys, but like mons like Tyranitar and Bombstone can always guarantee their own weather. So even Groudon if it's Trick Room based, so this is a way to like mitigate rain damage, so yeah. So, Fiend. Kyogre is a very strong contender, and will likely be the premier water type of choice in VGC 19 format. With its powerful water survive boosted like hits, it's likely just you're gonna be able to 2-hit kill most of the unresisted format, aside like stuff like, you know, Ludicolo and Dialga and stuff like that. So it could be built in a number of different ways, like Scarf, Berry Set, Trip Room, and like Specs. So I would say I wouldn't be surprised if people or VGC players are able to innovate Kyogre as the season progresses from Sun to even the Moon series. So yeah, and as I mentioned throughout this video, and I've hinted on it, be prepared to have multiple checks encounters, especially when facing Kyogres in mirror matches. So, and have the proper teammates and partners just to help Kyogre with either to keep offensive like pressure or support it in general. So yeah, and of course this will likely be the most common, restricted, and meta-defining mon even throughout like the Sun and Moon series. But once Ultra series comes in, Primal Groudon will just have its day in the Sun. So yeah. Alright, so that is all I have for this video. So thank you guys for watching this VGC 19 guide. If you notice any mistakes and errors I've said or whatever, I was like, I do admit I do stutter a lot, so yeah. That's something I have to work on. So, and I do notice I've made some mistakes throughout this video, so as well. So if you notice some, just comment down below and say, oh, so and so this or whatever. So, oh, this you meant this or that. So hopefully it's not a big deal. So I just wanted to make a guide for just players who haven't used Kyogre, or just like only like familiarized with Primal Kyogre but not the regular Kyogre. So yeah, I'll be making more VGC 17, no, not 17, but like 19 guides for throughout the coming weeks, even like months, or once like the series progresses. So yeah, it was very interesting to see that Pokemon did announce this very early on. So maybe I'll make like a video once in a while, so just covering some of the popular restricted Pokemon. So yeah, that is all I have for today, and as I said, I'll see ya, so take care.